I'm taking that excuse at the very beginning of this session before I start. So I won't be using any PPTs in this session, and happy to know that the participants are really interactive. I want you to be interactive. I want your cameras to be switched on, and I want you to be interacting because this will be an interactive session. And I would like to make a small correction in the way Ammu introduced me. I haven't published any books. I have published in books. I have published various chapters. I haven't published any books like any of the resource persons. I haven't published any books, but I've published few papers in books, and I've published few papers in various newspapers, journals. And cyber law is an interest for me, area of interest for me. But I look at cyber law from a different perspective. I look it from the perspective of constitution. I look it from the perspective of jurisprudence, and not from the perspective of the technicality that is involved in cyber. So I'm requesting the participants to switch on the camera. As Bismi ma'am told, I truly believe that you are interactive. I want your cameras to be switched on. Please. Then we will start with the session. Other than Bismi ma'am, if someone can switch on the camera. At least Ammu, who introduced me, if you can switch on the camera. At least two, three people, because it doesn't make any sense speaking to a screen. I want to see few faces. Then only I can move ahead with the session. Yeah. Thanks a lot, sirs, for switching on your cameras. Yeah, I hope more participants will be switching on their cameras. So when I was invited for this session, the topic as is given is a short-term training program on artificial intelligence, information technology, cyber security. So these terms are all complex terms. I'm not saying that any of these terms are simple. And I have an addition to my topic, the way forward, or what is expected when you look forward. So I don't know how much I'll be able to do justice to this topic, but I'll definitely try to present my views. I'm here to have a discussion. I'm here to learn from all of you. I expect that kind of interaction from all of you. Okay, so I don't have a slide, but I will share something with you now. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yeah. Have any of you read this book? This is a book. This is a novel. Have any of you read this book? Book's name is 1984. The novel's name is 1984. It's written by George Orwell, who wrote Animal Farm. Have any of you read this book? Yes, no, maybe.
Arjun, there's a comment in the chat box. Watch the movie. Watch the movie in the chat box.
No, that's not a movie. This is not a movie. This is a book.
Hi, Arjun. I am Kavya Sali.
Yes.
That's a comment that was given by me. Hello, ma'am. Actually, I saw the movie. I haven't read the book by George Eliot's 1984. I haven't read the book, but I have watched the movie. That's why I put the comment.
Okay. Kavyaji is also senior to me. She is currently doing research. She is a senior research scholar at Central University of Kerala. Happy to see Kavyaji over here. So in this book, George Orwell has coined a term called moral thought police. Okay, I'm deleting the word moral, but I'm taking the word thought police. Do you feel that when you're attending this meeting, your data is being recorded? No, without switching on your camera, your data is being recorded, because after joining Christ, even I'm using WebEx platform for teaching. We are using hybrid mode over here. Till this 20th, we will be using hybrid mode of teaching for the students. So once you join the meeting, the time of joining, the mail ID from which you are joining, your name which is given in the WebEx platform, the time which you are leaving, if you are joining back, which time you are joining back, all this data will be there in the WebEx platform. And this can be accessed by the person who have created this link. Do you feel happy about this? You're leaving your footprints over here. It's more complex than signing a paper after coming to attend a conference.
Yeah, we can know how many participants are there.
Yeah, you can know how many participants are there. Other than that, your mail ID is being recorded, your in time is being recorded. If you're leaving in between, that will be recorded. How many minutes you have attended this meeting, that is also being recorded. How many minutes? So we have been directed that if students leave the meeting in between, we can see, right, how many have attended lecture for 1 hour, how many have attended for 10 minutes. Everything is being recorded. It's not just the participant list that you can see over here. A lot of other things can be seen by the person who have created this meeting. It might not be available for us. Then think about how much data will be there with WebEx. I'm talking about the admin who have created this meeting, who is having access to lot many data. Think about the data which WebEx will be having. What is the cost that these universities might be paying to access WebEx? I will say it is a very nominal cost, whatever it might be. So if something is free, you are the product. If something is free, you are the product. So I'm sorry to say this, even most of you have doctorates, but you are products here. I'm also a product here. Most of you might have completed, might be doing your PhD. Some of you might have completed your PhD. Most of you are interested in cyber laws, but understand that you are being products here. And we are using Facebook, we are using WhatsApp, right? Do you know how much compensation did Facebook pay for tracking the use, how their users use internet after they log out of Facebook? What do you think? Your data is being recorded only when you're logged into an app? Even if that app is there, even if you are logged out, your data is being stored, recorded, and used by this platform. So in 1984, the book, when you read it, the image that you will be getting is there are a lot of departments in a particular place. And each person is living under the fear that the big brother is watching you. Big brother. You have seen the movie Big B, right? Big brother is watching all of us. And you should fear as to how you are performing while using these apps. Performance in the sense how you are using your internet while you are using these apps, because you are products. You are not paying for Google. You are not paying for Facebook. You are not paying for WhatsApp. Most of us are not paying for Gmail. Some of us who are using institutional mail IDs, the institution might be paying for the Gmail. But these companies are making crores of profit. Crores. It's not lakhs. It's crores of profit. They are even influencing elections. They are being questioned by the house of a particular country. They were questioned by a house of a particular country. You know which country it is. You know the allegations which were leveled against the owner of Facebook. Why did the creators of WhatsApp left the company WhatsApp or Meta, which took up WhatsApp? They were actually, when WhatsApp was acquired, they also became part of that company. Why did they leave WhatsApp? Because they thought that the user's data is unethically being used, and they started an app called Signal. After reading more about WhatsApp and how WhatsApp is making revenue, I started a Signal account, but I couldn't see any of my friends over there. So I deleted Signal account and I'm still using WhatsApp. And we are contacting each other through WhatsApp. We have a good product wherein they have describe their corporate policies as to how they are making profit, as to how their revenue is being generated. They are disclosing all those things on one end. One end, we have a company called Signal. Other hand, we have a company called WhatsApp, which has been alleged of data privacy breach. But we choose WhatsApp over Signal because we find it more user friendly. So we don't want our data to be secure. We don't want privacy. And we spend hours, we take hours of lectures trying to learn about what privacy is, how to protect our right to privacy. We discuss provisions which are there in IT Act. We criticize legislature. And we are all experts in cyber law. This is the situation. So first point I would like to make here is that we are all products. Accept that before we move ahead with my views on this particular topic. Accept that you're all products. My interest on this topic of cyber laws started when I observed as to the suggestions that the Facebook used to give after you search for something in Amazon. You search for something in Amazon, don't purchase it, you'll see the exact same product in Facebook. And when I before I started doing my LLB, I was from a religious background, so I had religious affiliations. I used to like the pages of the religious group which I try to associate myself with. So I used to like all those pages. So all the suggestions which used to come was in support of that particular community. So what do I think? Whatever I believe is true. Whatever I believe is true. So if you are a person who is having a right wing, who believe that the right wing politics is right, or if you truly believe in it, and you like the pages which promote these right wing ideologies, you will receive contents that will support right wing ideology, and you will believe that your version is true. If you are a person who supports left wing, who is supporting left wing ideology, you subscribe to those pages and you will only view contents. You will even get suggestions. You will see all kinds of news in support of whatever you are believing. So somewhere I read, even if you don't like something, like the Facebook pages, randomly do it, just to make sure that you are not being tracked, or your interest is not being recorded by a company who is going to make profit out of you. All these news that is coming to you is marketed news. All these political leaders, they will start a Facebook page. The money they should spend on a Facebook ad is much lower than the money they should spend on a print media or a visual media. And you are being products by subscribing only those things you like. You're liking pages, only those pages which you like. And you're getting false news. Actually, you're getting half truth, which is much more dangerous in today's world. Okay, you can interfere in between. Okay, no issues. If you have any doubt, I forgot to mention it. If you have any contradictions, if you feel my lecture is boring, you can interfere. You can call me by my name. You need not call me by sir, or you need not add any such affiliations. You can interfere and we will have a conversation. That's my intention. Okay. So now moving on, another issue of artificial intelligence. One day when I was reading Manorama, I don't know whether saying it out in public, I don't know whether publishing that news is right, because it is from news that all of us will get ideas of committing crime. I got to know about number of cyber crimes after reading news. It's not after watching movies or serials. It is after reading news. that the criminals might be getting a lot of ideas. Because before that, you're all cool. When you read a news, you realize that certain things are happening around you. You know, there are apps which can morph your images. It will be your face, and your morphed images will be available for a person for free. There are websites even now. The address from which, if the website is being created, if one website is blocked, in same address they will create it from some other place. There is a website, in my research I have mentioned it. My research is on cybercrimes against women in social media platforms. So I mentioned it. There is an app called Nuditin. There is a website called Nuditin, wherein people upload images and get morphed images. They use it to blackmail whoever they want to. A lot of cases were filed against this particular website. The website was banned. Again, other websites are created in similar names. This do happen around us. I'm not mentioning the name of this lady, but this did happen in the state of Kerala. Her nude video was posted in her husband's WhatsApp group. Her husband left her. Her children left her. She went to police. Police was like, we don't have technology to prove that it's not you. So she went to the DGP. It was referred to a central agency. Try to find the name of that agency. I'm not mentioning it here because you are all scholars. You're here to learn. I'm here to make you confused, bit worried. And if you're worried and confused after my lecture, I'm happy. But if you understand everything, I'm not happy. Okay, so research about this agency. And do you know the kind of trauma this lady was forced to undergo? She was forced to be nude in front of a doctor so that marks in her body, small marks in her body could be recorded, so as to compare it with the images in the video to prove that it's not her. She proved it. At last she proved it, that it's not her. But her husband is like, I cannot lead a family life with this lady again. Her children are like, we don't want to go with our mother. This is a situation. This is the way artificial intelligence, cyber tools, information technology is being used. How disturbing it is. I know it is disturbing. It is disturbing. Even when I speak it out, it is disturbing for me. Because it carries a certain amount of negativity, right? Doesn't make you happy. Now let me talk about something else. Okay, I'm bringing in different things. You might not find connection with this, connection with one topic which I am discussing and another topic which I am presenting before you. Trying to bring in a new idea before you, something which you might not have noticed. You, all of us, speak about the rights of the subaltern, marginalized, the oppressed communities, right? We always side ourselves, or we always, in our dreams, we imagine that we are with them. But when actual policies come up, we side with the side which support our interests, right? That's how things happen. Do we actually side ourselves with subaltern, marginalized, oppressed communities? It can be observed by observing how this information technology, artificial intelligence is being used. There's a study which is conducted by Amnesty International. Its reports are out. The study reveals that other than right to privacy, which other fundamental rights may be infringed to you? Okay. Yeah, surely we will discuss it. Can I answer this question at the end, Hemang Shah? Because I didn't address the issue of right to privacy as such. It was brought in at the very beginning of the lecture, but we moved ahead with a lot of other issues. I hope you are noticing it, because I'm bringing in new issues. This is not related to right to privacy. So, study which was released by Amnesty International, it revealed that politicians who belong to certain political parties are being targeted, especially if they are women. Again, if they belong to a marginalized section, they are more targeted. If they identify themselves with a minority group, then they are more targeted. They are being trolled, abused, they have been stalked. Even women belonging to the majority political party face similar issues. Now, if they belong to marginalized sections, the kind of abuse that they face in social media platform are much more than that is being faced by a person who is belonging to the forward section. And we often enjoy this kind of trolling. Where to draw a line as to your freedom of speech and expression and someone's right to have a space? I'm not talking about right to privacy. I've brought this issue again and again because Kaviseji was also my mentor when I was doing my thesis, my LLM thesis. And she also contributed a lot to frame all these ideas. So I've presented it many times in many platforms where she was there. Try to understand that when someone is being trolled, abused in social media platforms, all of us are not equally emotionally strong, right? Some of us might leave that platform. Some of us might not hear. How many of you use your own photos as WhatsApp DPs and Facebook profile pictures? There might be few who might be using pictures of flowers, interesting sceneries. There is nothing wrong in it. You're absolutely justified to use those images. But my point is, what makes you or what forces you to hide your face? If it is voluntary, it's fine. But if it is out of fear, then that is an issue that has to be addressed. To make it more clear, I would like to quote my professor, Bismi ma'am student, Girish sir. Okay, he used to always try to introduce me to a concept called freedom from fear. What do you mean by freedom from fear? What do you understand by the term freedom from fear? You can contribute in interactive participants, please contribute it. What is your understanding of freedom from fear? The term freedom from fear. Hope you're getting the term. Having a secured system in the sense, secured feeling in the sense, you should have big fences or bigger security, come to cyber security. You should have more officers, more infrastructure to track cyber crimes, to track down criminals who are committing cyber crimes. Is that what you're wanting? Is that what you want? Is that freedom from fear?
It is nothing but dare enough to face unfamiliar situations.
Yeah. No, that is your attitude, right? You are dared enough to face any situation. That is your attitude, your approach towards that particular issue. As some of you have pointed out, Sanjeev Kumar sir, Kaviseji, that freedom from being limited, freedom from getting out of the limitations that have been set by the state. Understand that if the state is providing you with some freedom, again, you are being recorded. If the state is interfering for providing security to you, you are being recorded. Or your data is being collected by the state. And freedom from fear means a situation in which no restriction is required and everyone is able to exercise their right as they want to exercise it without interfering with the rights of another person. So if I want to walk out in midnight, if the state is providing me with police security, that is fine. That is okay. If the state is providing me with security, that is okay. That is fine. But what would be the situation if I don't have any special, I'm not 6 feet tall. I don't have a built body. So even with my physical feature, even with my limitations, even without the support of the state, why can't I enjoy the freedom which I deserve? All of us who are sitting in this room, we are in a social contract, right? You are not respecting me because I have a lot of degrees, I have presented a number of papers. It's just because Bismi ma'am introduced me, Bismi ma'am included my name in that list. So you are in a formal platform. You are supposed not to interfere me, or some of you might be even afraid not to contradict me while I'm speaking, but contradictions are welcome. Okay. So in a social system, it's not about fear, but it's about mutual respect that we are having with each other. Right? I'm ready to hear your views. You should be ready. I'm here to hear your views. You should be ready to hear my views also. Okay. And there, through this process, we will try to find the truth. Right? But this platform is being denied by these so-called social media, which is working with artificial intelligence. It denies such platforms to the subaltern, marginalized, oppressed, and those who are less in number. Consider the rights of opposition parties in most of the countries. Oftentimes, their posts will be taken down by these social media platforms within much less time than they take down the offensive posts of those belonging to the majority part. Some of you are yawning. That's fine. That's totally fine. So if you want to interfere in between, if you have any clarifications, you're welcome. I'm just reminding you. So where did I stop? Where did I stop? I think all of you are sleeping. Where did I stop?
Freedom from fear.
Yeah, freedom from fear. Okay.
Opinions on social media.
Yeah. So how voices of poor, marginalized, those who are less in number, should have its space in these mainstream media that we are using? Why are we not concerned about it? So when we are talking about freedom, okay, someone is saying that was just my imagination. Okay, so I do understand that after 45 minutes or after even 20 minutes of lecture, everyone will get bored, and you are attending continuous lectures back to back. And I do understand that I am a starter, so it might not be very interesting for you. So it's natural to expect you to yawn. That's why. Okay, so yeah, where did I stop? That's a question. Again, I do miss out myself. I became blank. So these people should be given representation, like in these mainstream medias that we are using. And none of us are concerned about it. None of us. Even while I am writing my research paper, I am not concerned, actually not concerned about it, because I am just trying to make my thesis different. I want others to say that my topic is interesting. So if Bismi ma'am comes for my Viva, I will present in such a fashion that it will impress her, right? That's my point. My perception would be completely different. That's how it is. That's how it is, right? We are liberals in the outside and conservatives in the very inside, right? When it comes to us, how we use these platforms. Tell me as to how, tell me if any of you have not used your social media account to stalk at least one person. And stalking in the sense means just searching for someone's account, looking at their profile picture. That's enough. You need not do anything else. At least one of you who haven't done that, I just want to know that person. Just want to know that person. Just want to learn from that person. That's what I'm saying. We all speak about rights. We all speak about cybersecurity. We all speak about provisions of law. And we do violate law. Strictly speaking, we do violate law. Have you heard of boys locker room case? BOIS, boys. BOIS, locker room case. It's actually a case that's going on. Judgment is not yet out. If there is anyone from law background, have any of you noticed that case? Yes, in Delhi. Yeah, Rex, can you please speak a bit on that case?
Why is the locker room case where girls' photo circulated between boys?
Okay. So in addition to that, it's not about girls' photo being circulated. It was created by students who were doing their studies, who were doing their higher study, means, what is it called? After 10th, it's called pre-university, right? Or how is it called? You got it, right? +1 and +2. Who are doing their +1 and +2 from these so-called high-class schools in Delhi, or the upper schools in Delhi. They created an Instagram group in which girls were also present. Interestingly. So what do you think? These harassments are only being done by boys? Though it's called boys locker room, though that the chat room was called boys locker room, girls were also there. Images were circulated, non-consensual, one thing. Second, consent doesn't make any difference. With your image being circulated with number of people, again, they are minors, was circulated, comments were posted in that group which were disturbing. It actually made disturbing news, made headlines of newspapers for few days. Can you say what do you think as to the existence of such groups in Facebook and WhatsApp at this point of time when I am speaking to you? Do you think that after this case came in light, such groups are not there? What do you think? A number of groups are there in WhatsApp and in WhatsApp, in Facebook, in Instagram. Okay, in Instagram, in Facebook, if you find any images that is disturbing to you, or which you think that is not meeting the Indian standards of morality, or the standards of what is it called? the abusive languages which has been used in these platforms, try reporting it. Once it was known to few after, yeah, that's the thing which I was worried about. Even in this session, I'm worried about speaking all these knowledge which I have acquired, because after I share this, there are chances of others using it, who's attending these lectures using it. Yeah, it is natural, because after reading these newses, we come to know about it, right? So I have tried reporting some of the images which was disturbing for me. The reply I got after 2-3 days was that it doesn't goes against our community standards. So sir, if you want, you can block that page and you can relax. You can follow the pages which you like. You don't follow this page, don't come here. People who like this page will follow that page. You don't be worried about it. You follow the page which you like. Do you know what this mechanism is called? It's called crowd reporting mechanism. Crowd, CROWD, crowd reporting mechanism. So if someone report my profile, number of people, yeah. Is someone hacking this meeting? Please mute yourself. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so what was I speaking on? Crowd reporting mechanism, right? Yeah. Crowd reporting mechanism. If many of you who are there in this meeting, if you feel my lecture to be boring and you want me to shut down all my social media platforms so as to prevent me from spreading these kinds of information to others, and you as a crowd decides to report my profile, if you do it, my profile will be down. If you do it as a crowd, your profile will be down. It might be for 2-3 days, but you won't be allowed to post any content in your Facebook page. You will have restrictions coming after you. Your page might not be removed, but the way in which you can use the page, it will be limited. You won't be able to access it as you want to access it. At the same time, these kinds of pages, number of pages which doesn't meet, I don't know how you will define the community. I don't know how many is the number that is required to yeah. Crowd reporting is equal to DDoS. I don't know what DDoS is, so if you can explain, that would be fine. DDoS, I don't know what DDoS is.
DDoS is denial of distribution of services.
Okay. Okay,
So
thank you.
So
you're from which background?
So I am from a technical background.
Okay, thank you sir for that term.
Okay.
Thank you for that term. So yeah, please add on.
In DDoS, if you want to block a website, we want to stop its services. Many, but more than the number of intake can be number of persons, intake persons, they can enter the website. So as a case, the services of the website is stopped or denied.
Okay, that's cyber attacks to slow down the servers. Okay. So it might be, I don't know about this technical term, but it might be similar. Okay, so I think the audience got my, the listeners got my point. So if number of people are trying to put down your Facebook profile, if number of people are doing it, it might come down. If you have a genuine page which is used to circulate genuine content, people are simply reporting it as a crowd, that page will be brought down by Facebook. At the same time, these kinds of pages which doesn't meet the community standards. While using the term community standards, I know it is a vague term, but which is used to circulate images, which is used to circulate content that doesn't respect the rights of others. Okay, now it's more clear, right? Let's remove the word community standards, because that is also a risky term. If I use that term, if I say something that you don't like, you might say that it's against community standards, right? Who sets these standards? Those who are in majority, right? So it might affect the rights of minority, right? True? What do you think? So what about how else can we restrict these pages? How else can we restrict these pages? Is a question that should be explored. And as to my understanding, there is no means. You might be able to bring down one page, they will create 4 other pages. It is not humanly possible to do it. Have you heard of Operation P Hunt? P Hunt, P. The letter P, Hunt. Have any of you heard of Operation P Hunt?
It's about the child pornography.
Yes. So Kerala police have a special initiative to track down those who are watching child pornography content using their electronic devices. Child pornography is strictly prohibited. Is watching pornography a crime? Can I ask you that before moving on to this issue? Is watching pornography a crime? Don't be hesitant to answer that question. Is watching... I didn't hear you properly, sir.
I don't think watching pornography is a crime, but
Okay.
certain types like disturbing, it's a crime. Like child pornography, for example, it's a crime.
Okay. Child pornography is a crime. Watching pornography in your private space, within corners of your wall with your device in, is not a crime. But child pornography is a crime. There is a specialized agency to track down those who are watching child pornography using their electronic devices. But interestingly, every year, number of people who have been caught under this initiative is only increasing. It is increasing. It is not decreasing, whether it's a good sign or bad sign. Bad? Okay. Now I will try to present it in a different manner. Let's leave internet, all those things, yeah, aside.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign. Yeah. So why?
Because, sir, we are caughting more and more number of people. Earlier, the culprits were same or maybe a little bit less, but the arrest or the investigation was very, very less as compared to nowadays it is going on.
True, sir. So that was the answer I was expecting. So, did you understand what sir was saying? At the beginning, when this initiative started, the technology that the police was using was a technology which was available at that date for them. Now, every year, they are trying to improve their technology. They are trying to improve their infrastructure. They are also trying to be better criminals, right? To track down criminals, you should be better criminals. So you should have better technology than what the criminals are using. Even the criminals are not that.
So to intimidate most of these people who use cyberspace, now the cloud management has come into effect. So the cloud area can be tracked easily.
Okay. Sir. Thank you for that input. So what was I saying? The technology that they are using, right? Yeah.
Can I please interrupt here?
Yes.
You said about the P initiative by the Kerala police. So the
Yes.
P initiative is reporting the P hunt. Okay. The P hunt initiative, the Kerala police, the crimes are reported by them.
Yes.
Police.
Actually, it is the data which is released by the police, which is
That
available
means
to us.
the victims are they are not coming out.
No,
It's
no,
not
no,
about
no.
it's not about being involved in a child sexual abuse. It's just
No,
about
no, no.
watching pornography of
Yes, yes,
where a child is there.
yes. It is only about watching pornography content. There is nothing
There
with
is no
regard
crime
to the
there.
victims.
Okay.
No. So here the police identify children as a vulnerable group, and the crimes against them are addressed as such. Means so what they are trying to address is child pornography, watching of child pornography, using of electronic devices for watching child pornography, and they are tracking down these criminals and they are putting them behind bars. The victims are not identified, or the remedies for that victims are not being designed by these agencies. Okay, so we are talking about infrastructure, right? We were talking about infrastructure, right? Having better infrastructure. But understand that these cyber criminals are having much better infrastructure than our police. That's the case I was trying to explain to you at the very beginning of this session. Remember that case wherein a woman, her nude images, nude video was circulated in the WhatsApp group of her husband, official WhatsApp group of her husband. The police was helpless. It took about an year to prove that she was innocent. No, even if her nude video was circulated, she didn't commit any crime, right? It was a person who had taken that video who have committed the crime. So me using the statement that she have proved herself innocent is wrong. And I do understand that it's politically incorrect. So I take back that statement. She proved that it's not her. It took her 1 year, more than 1 year. And we always use this phrase called delayed justice is denied justice. And on the other side, you will also say that justice hurried is justice buried. So which statement you will rely to? On one side, you have the rights of the victim. On the other side, you, as a democratic nation, as a modern nation, as a civilized nation, should also protect the right of the accused. I'm sorry to say this, as a lawyer, if there are lawyers here, there will be a lot of lawyers, right? As a lawyer, you are supposed to get your client all the benefits, even if that person is an accused person, all the benefit that system guarantees him. And if a good lawyer tries to get his client all the benefit that the system guarantees him, that client will be out without facing much charges. We have a case that is going on for about more than a year now, which is pending in Kerala. I'm not naming that case, but all of you might be aware of that case. By me saying in this tone, you will get which case it is. A very popular person is involved in that particular case. The survivor is also a very popular person. Even the court is not able to find the truth. The court is taking a lot of time. How should you balance these rights of victim and survivor in case of cybercrime? The case I'm talking about is a cybercrime. Other than the harassment that the survivor has faced, it is a cybercrime, a very serious cybercrime. So we are talking about cyber security, artificial intelligence. We are talking about information technology. The people are using it as means to harass a person. What about the right of the survivor? And at the same time, I'm asking you this question, what about the right of the accused? We don't know whether the accused has actually committed the crime. But the interesting thing with cybercrime is that the severity, the gravity, the pain that it inflicts on the victim without even shedding it, without even facing any physical pain, without forcing the victim to go through a physical pain, the kind of mental trauma, the kind of harassment, the kind of abuse is much more. The way people comes to know about this, the way it has been circulated. The day when this incident happened, the name of the survivor was also mentioned in all the news channels. The next day, they took it down. It's like no one knows. Even I'm speaking like I don't know the name of that person or name of the survivor. This is how law is, right? How should you balance it? Two statements. I'm making two statements. Your digital footprints can never ever be erased. Can never ever be erased. So I, as an aspiring scholar, after completion of my LLB, I came to Central University of Kerala. Sanisa was the head of the department. He told about the importance of publications, presentations. So I used to go all around. I used to walk all around Kerala. I used to go for a number of seminars. So within 2 years, I got a number of paper presentations. Now I wanted publications. So I tried publishing in these blogs, second-rate blogs at first, okay, because you are not a scholar, you can't get it directly. You don't have hope of getting it published in some high platforms like that of a good newspaper or in an index, corpus index journal. You don't have any thought of it, and you don't expect that your papers will get published over there. You publish it in a blog, and later you realize that you can't ever erase your article from that blog ever again. See, this was an act which was done by me out of no criminal intention. Now, I haven't done anything wrong, but still, it will be there. Internet will never forget me, who I am. If you search for anyone's name, once you're out, once your Facebook account is linked with Google, entire data is available. So people often advise, don't search your name in Google. Please don't do it. This is my advice too. Because you might find your old images, which might not be interesting for you, might be disturbing for you, might find some old stupid articles of yours over there, lying over there. Some old comments which you might have posted in some platform, which you might not be remembering. So even if people forget, internet will not forget. Digital footprints are always there. It is there. So be careful. Be careful. It often offers a number of advantages. So I'm sitting in my college while I'm delivering this lecture at this late night. I'm doing this because I'm not having perfect internet connection in the place where I'm staying, because I just came in. I'm just settling down. And this is a place which is far away from city. It's a beautiful place, but it's far away from city. Do you know, when I want to log in for this meeting, I have to first do an internet login. I have Wi-Fi which is available in my laptop. But if I have to access this meeting, I have to do an internet login, for which I am provided with an ID and password. What do you think it is for? I'm asking you. What do you think it is for? To track what I'm doing with the internet, right? The institution is right when looking from their part. They are completely right. I'm not saying that there is nothing wrong from their part. I have just joined here, so I can't say anything against my institution. But the fact is that you are being recorded. You are being recorded. Yeah, for digitally recording my activities in internet. It's known to me, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So before coming to college, I should make sure that my history is completely free. I haven't logged into any websites, because once if I connect to my college Wi-Fi, if that website launches, whatever it is there on record. That's how we are using our internet, our Wi-Fi. That's how we are using artificial intelligence. That's how justice is functioning around us. This is how disturbing internet is. I think all of you understood nothing from my lecture. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you're confused, I'm happy. Thank you.
So in short, if we keep out of the www, we are safe.
Yes. Thank you, sir. You understood something. Any questions? I won't take more time, because ma'am gave me time till 8:30, but 1 hour is more than enough, I think. I can speak for other half an hour, but I want that half an hour for discussions. That's why I stopped. Active audience are not asking any questions. That's so sad. You asked a lot of questions too.
Hi, Arjun. Just to maybe just to initiate the discussion.
Yes.
Do you think, from a regional perspective, I'm asking from an Asian perspective, do you think the users of Asian countries are having these, Asian or say African countries as well? Do you think the Asian and African countries are more having any, this we say about the cancel culture, we say about the woke culture. Do you think it is more within us, just like the more attacking sense also? I hope I have delivered it. You
Yes.
understood what I'm asking.
I just want to clarify it. Ma'am, your question is whether internet crimes are more in these countries than in other countries?
You can say that. What I meant is, do you think our culture is driving us into doing it, to cancel and to violate?
Um, Personally speaking, I don't believe so, because I do believe that I don't know whether Kavijay is remembering that article which was presented by me in that was my first presentation in Central University of Kerala, an article which was given to me by Sunny sir, as to how internet is being used and how freedom of speech and expression and the right of the public in general are contradicting in from a US perspective. That article was discussed in uh, in um, in the class as part of academic exercise. The crimes that happen in those countries, the circumstances, the social conditions in which it is happening might be different, but similar crimes with same gravity are happening. For example, if there is caste-based cyber crimes which are happening in India, there will be race-based cyber crimes happening in America. So in my thesis, in my LLM thesis, when I was writing my LLM thesis, I tried to approach it from a feminist jurisprudential perspective, which was an idea which was given to me by Adra ma'am and Kavya ma'am and Giri sir. So when I went through various feminist theories, I came to know that, and when I read number of articles, I came to know that black women were more susceptible to cyber crimes than white women. And there is a feminist theory called black feminism, wherein they say that the issues which are being faced by black women are different from that of white women. So those kinds of crime of high severity are happening in Western countries or in countries which we consider to be developed. And the kind of crimes that are happening in India are still in its basic form, is what I think. There is a lot more for us to grow. But the interesting thing which I noticed is that the cyber criminals in India, the cyber criminals in African countries have a baby step advantage, or it's not called baby step advantage, but the last player advantage, because they have known as to how these criminals are being tracked down in Western countries with modern technologies. So when these criminals are functioning from African countries, Asian countries and African countries, they will do it in such a manner that they will not be tracked by the technologies which have been used by these developing nations to track down cyber criminals. So we have more efficient cyber criminals because we are just getting into. This is what I think.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Is there a question posted in chat?
I think we have a couple of questions in the chat box also. So shall I read it out? Amma, are you there?
Ma'am, I will read it out. So your suggestion on how to improve the protection of critical infrastructure for cyber attacks. I don't understand these terms. Critical infrastructure means, can you please explain?
Yeah, the assets of the government, like how they would like to govern it.
Okay.
For the nation.
Yeah. So we have infrastructural, I mentioned it. We have infrastructural limitations as well as the economic limitations. Means that we have a cyber wing. Kerala has a cyber wing. The Kerala police have a cyber wing which has been appreciated for its effort for preventing cyber crimes. But interestingly, the same police was unable to help the survivor in the case which I was mentioning. So how to improve it should be a policy decision of the government as to how cyber technology should be used by the government to protect the information, to protect the rights of the individuals. And from the words of Bismi ma'am, Sunny sir, and my other teachers, I can say that policy is the future law. So it is for the government, for the legislature to frame the policy to improve the cyber infrastructure, to dedicate more amount of money for it, to encourage cyber research. I think Kerala police, every year they invite papers and they call it something called hackathon, where hackers are invited to hack into systems and prove as to how efficient they are, and police rewards them. So these kinds of engagements are being done by the police, by our legislature, by our executive. But the interesting thing is that the criminals are far ahead of police. So my suggestion is to have serious discussions on it, to bring in experts, not like me, but experts who are real experts in these topics, to bring in experts, spend more time, spend more money on it, have proper engagements, and try to find out actual solution to these problems. Because more than lawyers, I think technological experts, those who are experts in technology, can contribute more solutions. Have any of you watched the movie? How many of you are from Kerala? I don't know. Have any of you watched the movie Operation Java?
Sir, we watched.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, please do watch it. And you will understand as to how difficult it is to track down a cybercriminal. And interestingly, one of the scene in which is shown in that movie. A bank manager is coming to the police station to report a cybercrime, wherein he will be complaining that a huge amount has been lost from his account, and he will be writing PIN on his ATM card. He used to carry an ATM card with PIN on it, and he's complaining that a huge amount has been lost from my account. So along with the infrastructural development, people should be sensitized. How I should use my Instagram account, how I should use my Facebook account, how I should use WhatsApp, how I should use Google. So this is not something executive, or this is not something which infrastructural developments can help you with. Only if you restrict yourself, only if you behave in a composed manner, in a matured manner, you will be able to survive in the world of cyberspace. The way you use it is very important. I learned how to use social media from my teacher, Sunny sir. I use social media only to update my professional achievements. I don't post anything related to my personal life in social media after coming to Central University of Kerala. So I even started an Instagram account for posting my professional achievement. So it's up to you how to use the account. There is benefit, there is also consequences. Means once I wrote an article with regard to rights of women. It was published in Hindu, and I received mails, I received personal messages saying that my views are not right, and as to how I should change. Disturbing messages, as to say. But my co-author said, don't respond to any of these. I was preparing detailed reply mails, but my co-author was like, don't reply to any of these. So there are pros and cons of using social media. How to use it in a composed manner is more important than any infrastructural development that the state can, infrastructural support that the state can provide you with. Ma'am, hope I answered your question. What is the remedy for media trial? Circulating half-truth in social media and e-newspaper is not a crime. If yes, what are the legal provisions? You can file a case for defamation if I'm not wrong. But these people make money out of it. You know that? So basically, if you are being defamed, you file a case, you'll be defamed more, because it is an opportunity for other social media platforms to make money. So the best answer to these questions, you can legally respond if you can face all these consequences. If you are ready to face all these consequences, you can legally respond. I'm not supposed to say this as a legal professional, but you should have a good you should have a good capacity to face all these situations. Otherwise, it's better to remain silent, because history will erase you, because other people will come in. Other people will do blunders in social media and they will be targeted. So you will go behind the history.
Can I just intervene in between because of this statement that you just made now?
Yes.
What about these bully by cases? I mean, bully by app cases and all, fully deals. In that case, if the victim is, or the people who are being targeted, the vulnerable women who are being targeted, if they remain silent, or if you turn a blank eye or a blind eye on these situations, how can you say that there will be a remedy? How can you say that women will be protected?
Sure, ma'am. As I already said that it's, as a lawyer, I should not be saying this. In bully by case, I don't know whether other participants are aware of this. Muslim women were targeted. Women belonging to a particular group were targeted. And their photos were misused. They were targeted. And the person was brought before the court. The person was brought before the court, and the trial is going on. It is interesting to note that it is not the first crime that is happening. If you are following Quint in Instagram, Quint Have you heard of it? It's a news platform which is mostly publishing their newses through social media. Okay, they publish newses of women belonging to marginalized communities or minority community being targeted. The answer is system should help these victims to get justice, but unfortunately the system is not providing justice. So this institutional structure, I'm not talking about infrastructure, institutional structure, the way victims are being cross-examined in our criminal courts, the way money should be spent to prove that your case is right, even if you are representing the prosecution side. The way that you should be sacrificing on your personal and professional life should be addressed by the state. The existing system is in such a manner that it only provides remedy to people who are ready to face these consequences. So I'm reframing my statement. I know what I said was wrong. It should be brought before the court. The remedy should be taken. Victims, their rights should be protected. I don't have any objection to any of these, but the issue is that the existing system is not having the capacity to do that. That's why I cited that famous Kerala case wherein justice is still a dream for the survivor. Thank you. Thank you. What was the next question? Cybersecurity is maximum controlled by corporate. Then what is the role of government in protecting cybersecurity technically? Government is having a huge role in protecting cybersecurity. If you are reading the recent controversies with regard to how COVID-19 was being tracked by the government, how your data is being controlled by the government, the sprinkler controversy that happened in Kerala, on which if I'm not wrong, 2 commission reports were submitted on the report, which is not available to the general public. The role of the government is very wide. They can do whatever with the infrastructural facilities that they are having in hand. And oftentimes, we can see that government siding up with corporates to bring in policies that favors them. Hope the question was answered. If not, you can ask clarification. What do you think is the big threat to individuals and organizations currently and in our near future? The big threat towards individuals and organizations currently and in our near future with regard to cybercrimes, artificial intelligence, is that the big brother is watching you. By the term big brother, I refer to big corporations like that of Google, Facebook, the company's name is Meta, and other social media platforms that we are using, and the modern technology from the technological devices that you and I are using. Big brother is watching you and they are framing your thoughts. Whatever I am saying is not my idea. It is framed by the internet. Bismi ma'am might agree with this because she might be correcting dissertations, theses. It is not the idea of the student. It is the idea of Google. Okay. So 2 threats are big brother is watching you. Second is there is a thought police. Thank you. Cyber drone, cyber victim. What if you are a cyber victim? It's like one-way approach. then what's the role of court in preventing unaware? I didn't get the question. Can you make it more clear, sir? Sanjeev Kumar, sir?
Sir, actually my question is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Actually, my question is, if you are a cyber victim, you need that it is an like one-way approach. You need to upload only the police. There is
Yes.
no other way.
Yes.
In current situation, you can't go for a private cyber expert or a private person or a there is no way to approach court.
I got your question, sir. I got your question.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for bringing in that question, because I forgot to actually.
Excuse me, is it about expert advice or something like that?
No, he is asking for other remedial mechanisms, sir. Other than courts, what are the other remedial mechanisms that is available to a cyber victim? So just to add on to the earlier discussion which we are having, which Kavya ma'am pointed out, the earlier statement which I made, just to add on to that, this is the point which I forgot to mention. There should be a rule which makes it mandatory for all the digital platforms, whether it's a search engine, whether it is a social media platform, to provide the details of an officer which is appointed by that company to provide remedy to the victims who are victimized by means of using their social media platform. I think there already exists a rule. I don't know which provision says so, but all social media companies are supposed to have a remedial officer. I don't know whether the term that I'm using is correct. There should be an officer to whom the victim can directly approach, and it should be remedied. Other than the crowd reporting mechanism, such a mechanism should be devised. So that would be an alternative, Sanjeev Kumar. Hope you got it.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Yeah, the ease with which a person can be framed by police in cyber offense is alarming, especially in the light of the issues like Pegasus. Where to find middle ground when it comes to fundamental right and against cybersecurity, as against cybersecurity? So if government is there, the government will be watching you, because they have to protect their interest. Government want you to favor their policies. Government want to know what you're thinking, so as to frame their policies in such a manner that they are being brought back to power. In Kerala, the sprinkler issue. My question is, I'm not criticizing the government. My question is, was there a single file on this issue? On this particular matter, on the basis of which the government framed this policy, which gave the right to the company to collect the data of individuals, of COVID-19 patients. And how, have you heard sensitive personal data? Have you heard the term sensitive personal data? My medical health report or my medical condition is a sensitive health data. If that is available with a company, especially with a medical company, how will they be using it? Think about it. So middle ground is that you can't find a middle ground, because even the government is using technology to track you down. Even if even if the mobile is switched off, whether it can be traced. Yes, it can be traced. I don't know how, but it can be traced. Thank you. Any other questions? I don't know how to track spoof ID. I don't know. I'm really sorry.
Sir.
Yeah.
What is the role of telecommunication company for the permanent loss of data? Since we already mentioned about some famous case now going on in our High Court, and in this case, the police reported in the court that some of the important chats and something is lost from their phones. And is there any role for the telecommunication companies to recover such data that lost in permanent way?
I don't have the technical knowledge with regard to that, but I do believe that they have information. They have call records. It can be taken down by the police. I don't know whether chat can be recovered, but data can be, means with regard to where that person was, with regard to the calls that he was having from his phone. All those data can be recovered. This is not my thought. It can be recovered. I'm sure about it can be recovered. But I'm not sure about how to technically explain it. But it can be recovered.
Compare the punishment related to this cybercrime in our country and other foreign countries.
I'm not ready with that, but what I have observed is that India doesn't have. Can any of you mention what is the remedy that is available in India other than IPC and Information Technology Act? Any remedy that is available? Now my question is, when was IPC drafted? Yeah.
Provisions under the Article 21.
Yeah, that's too broad, ma'am. Means like you have to go to a constitutional court, which might not be accessible to a victim who might need an immediate remedy. Constitutional rights are available, true.
Severe punishment is available in our country, or else in other countries are more tough punishment than India?
Ma'am, I haven't compared with other countries, but what I have observed is that Information Technology Act is not a criminal legislation. The primary intention of Information Technology Act is to protect businesses. It is to provide legal recognition to the transaction which have been done through electronic medium and electronic communications. And as part of it, certain regulations are there, like cyber pornography. It addresses offenses like that. Few provisions are there. It also addresses. There was a provision with regard to making defaming statements. Interestingly, it was struck down by the court, and people are still being charged under it. Can you mention the provision? Can you mention the provision which I am talking about? Can any of you mention the provision which I am talking about? Have you heard of Shreya Singhal case?
Yes, sir. 66
Yes,
age.
Shreya Singhal case, sir.
Yes, 66.
Yes, sir. In 2015, sir.
But interestingly, people are still being charged under that.
No, sir. Nowadays, sir, central government already issued advisory to all state governments not to register case under section 66A.
Yeah, but sir, people are being charged under it. People are charged under. Yeah.
No, sir. Actually, it is already repealed from the CCTNS server, and all states have already instructed not to enroll any case under 66A, and all the cases who are already registered, they are also instructed to remove the section, sir, from this section.
Okay. That was a new information for me. But sir, you are also aware that people were charged with.
Yes, sir. I am from Odisha Police, sir. I am working in cyber cell, so I have got the advisory, sir.
Okay. So you are from cyber cell. Okay. Thank you, sir, for that information.
Odisha. It's from Odisha.
Yes.
Okay.
One of our DSP sir has also joined this course, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the information. Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity.
I've answered all the